Welcome to Whispering Pines Shetland Sheep Farm. Our flock is known for their soft, crimpy, fine wool, produced solely for hand spinners to enjoy. Today we're at the skirting table, preparing another fleece for our annual fleece auction. This video will give you a hands-on look at every possible aspect of the fleeces I am offering in this year's auction. I'll be talking about the quality of the fleece, my recommendations for processing the wool, and I'll share some information about the ewe that donated this lovely fleece. I hope you enjoy today's skirting video. Hi, welcome to the skirting video. Here today I'm going to be doing Leyton's fleece. Our ewe Leyton. She's a white ewe. She's out of Ilara, who I don't have on the farm anymore, but Ilara was a white ewe, and Oberon, which is a white ram who lives in the UK. So Leyton was also one of the ewes that we did with AI. So what that means is we brought semen over. I didn't. Our association, breed association, coordinated to get semen brought over from the UK, and we purchased it and then used it on our ewes. We did, I think we had, I can't even remember how many ewes we bred. I think it might have been 6 or something like that. And then had lambs from that. And Leyton is one of the lambs from that breeding. And she's beautiful. She's a big ewe, and she's got a nice big fleece because of the UK influence. There's some bits of turdy wool that have no value whatsoever. These are going into my soil amendment pile. Oh, and there's some hairy stuff. My neighbor has a hair sheep that we bring. They bring her over here, and the shearer is set up so it's just easy, and they just shear that one. Her name is Doris, which was my mother's name. But anyway, so she comes over and gets her treatment, spa treatment, and then, but we try to make it so that she goes very last, otherwise her hair gets in my wool, and that looks as if it may have been some of hers. So with the white fleeces, you can really see the influence of the coat. Even the wool color, if you look at the neck wool up there, is very dark compared with the wool under the coat, which is a really pretty creamy white. We named the ewes from, I call them my AI ewes or my UK ewes. I mean, it's silly, right? Because all Shetland sheep originated in the UK. But these girls have a father that lives in Great Britain, England. You know what? I could not tell you what the difference is between those 3 things. The UK, Great Britain, and England. Okay. So she's got a big fleece, so it's kind of overflowing here, but this is the breech. Here is the neck wool, the big glob of neck wool, front legs, back, and then these are the sides over here. So my shearer does a lovely job of keeping the fleece nice and intact for my hand spinners, because he knows that's my business, raising sheep for their wool. Okay, now I'm going to go around the perimeter here, pull the shorter bits that are going to go into the soil amendment. So I have 60 fleeces to skirt. And these videos are really helpful. I put them up on YouTube, obviously, but then when I put the listing up on my website for each of these fleeces, those are tags right there. Should not put that in your mill wool. Put that in your soil amendment. But I make a listing on every single fleece in the website. There are different separate listings. And then I put them into the auction. It's a whole app I have. If anybody's interested in doing that, like if you're a farmer and you have fleeces, I'd be happy to tell you the app I use and how to do it and stuff. it's a great way to get your value. As a farmer, you know, you need to generate revenue wherever you can. And so an auction format really is the best, as opposed to putting a set price down. Now, a lot of my fleece customers don't like the auction format. It's stressful, and I get that. But it's the best option for the farm, the best way for the farm to generate revenue. And that goes back into supporting the animals with the equipment and feed and all the costs associated. And so in the listings, I'll put a link to this video. So if you're interested, if you're really that interested, you can get a nice, I think this is a really nice deep dive that gives you loads of info. But doing 60 videos of the same topic, it's a little bit, I'm concerned about being repetitive, or I'm concerned about making assumptions that you've maybe watched a video where I've talked about something already. So for example, I just, like 20 minutes ago, skirted Wrexham's fleece, who's also AI. So I'm not going to get into talking about the AI thing because I just did. All right, I got to find a bag of white comb top wool. And it looks like this is it. This is the wool that I'm going to send to the mill to get made into comb top, and it's good skirtings. There it says white. So that will go here. I'm just going to set that on the ground for now. So all of Leyton's skirtings are going to go into the white comb top. I'm going to tell you something. This fleece is going to be very easy to process. I would 100% wash this and flick it and spin it from the locks. The locks are going to be nice and long. You could put this on the drum carder and then pull off roving or bats, but I would pull off roving because it's easier and faster to spin, I think, than doing locks or bats. I do owe you guys a video about pulling roving off of the drum carder. I would flick these though. Normally I only put flicked wool on the drum carder if the locks are very short, because then I can do a really nice long draw. It works really well and I absolutely love it. This is really a nice crimp. The one thing I will say, so the UK genetics are a little bit different from what we are selecting for. And so for example, her spinning fineness is 24.3. That's getting up there. She's 3. You know, my 11-year-old Fanny, this video I just made, she's got a 22 micron spinning fineness. So Leyton's at 24, but nice crimp, but I feel like her crimp is variable. So I feel like there's some bold crimp and then there's some fine crimp. I'm just going to pull off a little bit just to demonstrate this. And you're going to probably look at it and say, she's crazy. I don't see a difference. But some of you may. The lock on the right, this lock, has a very bold crimp, and that I pulled from her center of her fleece. The lock on the left has a finer crimp that came from around the neck. So I see a difference there. And that is something that we were selecting for and culling, moving those ewes onto other farms, because that wasn't what I wanted in my breeding program. But since we're not breeding anymore, I'm just happy to have this really pretty white fleece. And it's enormous. And she's a good ewe. She's really pretty. If I'm not mistaken, she's got really cute spotted ears. And that's because her mother, Ilara, carried spots. Ilara doesn't live here anymore. I'm not sure. We sold her. She's on another farm, doing well, I'm sure, producing fleeces. So you can see on Leyton, her ears have little spots. Super cute. So this is skirtings that are going to the comb top. And they're nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. If it were me, I would wash this and flick it, but it's not really of the quality that I want to go into my fleeces for my fleece auction. So this is going to go into the white comb top. And here is the fleece. This is what we're going to be offering in the auction. So this is the top side, the side that gets exposed to the sun in the summer when they're in pasture. And then before we start giving them hay, like actually the day usually. Usually I put the coats on and that day they get fed hay. But they don't get fed hay without a coat because hay gets in the wool and it will just destroy it. So my coated fleeces are super nice and clean. So let's get some of these still shots that we're going to put in the auction listing. Okay, I've taken the 2 samples, so I think I'm just going to use those for my lock. It's 3 inches unstretched. Definitely 4 if you stretch it. Staple that to the card. So it's, what is it, noon? The girls are in and out because this is, as we know, the hottest part of the day. It's actually really pretty. This is going to be a nice fleece to work on, I think. Okay, let's flip her over. Looks good. Already. Oh, I got to do mine. I like to take a picture of just the side. This fleece is, I think if I had never done a soft Shetland fleece before, I would get this one. Is probably going to be the best for a beginner because of the staple length. The fact that it's so compact, so it's going to be super easy to strip locks off and comb it or flick it. And it isn't super, super fine. Sometimes those can get a little dicey. And also, it's a really good staple length. And the shearing quality is spectacular. These UKUs, I always call them the UKUs. Shear really good. So I think that, I rued them the first year. And subsequent years I did not. One reason is because the U's themselves are enormous and it takes a long time to rue a big U. I like to rue the smaller ones. That is one of my criteria. So for example, Lucretia, I rued her when she was a lamb, and then the second year. And then the third year, as a full-size adult, I rued her and I regretted it because it was a lot. It was a lot of wool. A lot of sheep. So, all right, let's roll this one up and get a weight on the beautiful Leyton. I might go back inside and then come back out a little later and do a couple more. It's really hot and the bugs are kind of getting annoying. I'll do one more. I like to roll it up like this, skin side together. This is going to be a big one. It's just really pretty. This is from one of my UKUs, Lucretia, or not Lucretia, Leyton. All right, let's get her bag. I use clear plastic bags, and I do reuse them year over year. I save them because I can see the tags. I can see the index cards through the clear plastic, and just so many reasons why that's really handy. .1 ounces. It's one of the bigger ones. Shearing quality, perfect. Staple length, 3 inches. Okay, so that is Leyton. All right, so that one is done. So we're going to do another one. So stick around for the next video in the playlist of the 2026 skirting fleece videos, which are in preparation for my fleece auction, which is coming up hopefully early August. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you for spending some time with me at the skirting table. If this fleece spoke to you, and if you want to be notified when the fleeces are available for viewing on the website, scan this QR code to be taken to my mailing list sign-up form on the website. Or scroll down to the description of this video for a link to the sign-up form on my website. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you can come back soon.